Well, as normal, we're waiting on Adam, and on this trip we're going to have Kyle running camera. He's the Sarah behind this camera, and then Kyle's going to be running camera for Adam. And when Adam says he's going to show up, let's say, just say noon, expect him around 3:30ish. That's living on Adam's time. We call that mountain time, and I don't mean Mountain Central. I mean Adam lives on mountain time, which is about 3.5 hours later than normal time. So I'm gonna buy him one of these days and set it 3 hours earlier. It might help.
What's going on? I'm only 3 hours late. That's like on time for me.
It's like 3.5. I'm gonna leave at 8 o'clock. I'm gonna leave at 8 o'clock.
I left the house at 10, which was only 2 hours late, which is
you know,
on
I was telling the folks earlier that you live on mountain time, not Mountain Central time. Mountain
Rocky
time,
Mountain.
which is about 3 hours behind normal person's time. So, well, welcome. You ready to go kill an antelope?
I'm ready. I don't know what you're waiting on.
Outback Outdoors is brought to you by Hoyt. Get serious, get Hoyt. Bugling bull game calls. We call the game. Gold Tip. With smart carbon technology. Spot Hog Archery. The world's toughest archery products. Winner's Choice custom bowstrings. Champion shooters live by them. Hope and Young trophies die by them. Nikon. The trusted name in optics. Hamsky Archery Solutions. Maximize your accuracy. Rage Broadheads, the revolutionary rear-deploying broadhead. S4 Gear, meeting the demands of nature and those that tame it. And Hex, the evolution of concealment.
2011 hunting season has begun. Headed up here to Wyoming, go chase some antelope. Growing up, August 15, that was always the kickoff date for our hunting season with archery antelope. And even though it's not August 15, it's the 19th, Friday the 19th. Having both Trevon and I having jobs, the weekend was a little easier for us to get away. So we didn't make the opener of August 15, but still kicking off the hunting season. Tomorrow will be our first day in the field. On the ranch yesterday, the elk were starting to bugle. So we're driving across here, noticing that the bucks are starting to chase does, the antelope bucks, that is. So it's, you know, fall is here. The summer went by very quickly.
how are you? This is Adam. Well, you met him.
Yes,
at
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Scott, you remember Adam from Adam? Well, nice to meet you. We're here in Wyoming. It's our opening morning. Table Mountain Outfitters. Rocking and rolling, or hoping to. It's been dry. Sit in a water hole. See what happens.
Welcome back. Let's rejoin Trevon and Adam as they bow hunt wary pronghorn antelope in Wyoming.
Kyle and I got in the blind the first morning, and as we're going into the blind, we're looking at a lot of antelope on the way in. There were some really nice bucks, and it gave me a gauge for what I could expect and what to hold out for.
We're here in Wyoming. Antelope, it's our opening day. It's not opening day, but it's our opening day. Here with Scott and Angie, Denny, Table Mountain Outfitters. We just dropped Adam and Kyle off in one blind, and we're heading to another one. And so it begins the 2011 season, and I'm excited.
There's one pretty nice buck out there about a mile. We just got in the blind. We're just gonna sit it out today and see what day brings. Hopefully it'll get nice and hot and these antelope will get thirsty, but the wait begins right now.
First morning, Sarah and I got in the blind bright and early with high expectations. Honestly, I was pretty excited.
We're set up in the blind. We're here at Wyoming Antelope Hunt. This is the kickoff for our 2011 season. So we're set up here on this nice little water hole. This is going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to this. They've seen some big bucks in this pasture, and they could come in from anywhere, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited. Finally, hunting season's here. Finally.
After Kyle and I got set up, there wasn't a whole lot of action the first few hours in the morning, other than a lot of sheep coming in. So I decided I was going to take a nap. After getting all my beauty sleep, I looked through a little crack in the back of the blind, and here comes a group of does. They came into the water hole nice and relaxed. Right after them, 3 small bucks came in. I almost shot the bigger of the 3 small bucks. I was pretty tempted. But after seeing what we had driving in this morning, I used a little self-restraint and held off.
Before the break, the bow hunting action was heating up for trophy antelope bucks on the plains of Wyoming.
You know, we got situated in the blind, got everything moved around where we wanted it so we could run secondary cameras, and of course I wanted to take a bunch of stills, and we look over and here's a buck on the skyline with a doe and a fawn coming to the water. This was perfect, or I thought it was going to be perfect, and I started looking at the goat through my binoculars, and that antelope was just a little bit on the young side. To be honest, might have needed a year or two, and so I decided I wasn't going to shoot him with my bow, I was going to shoot him with my camera.
Well, that's awesome. You know, that's the first antelope that have come into the blind, into the water hole. And I decided to go ahead and shoot that one with my camera. It's just a little on the small side. I might kick myself later, but there's enough antelope out here, and it's opening morning. I don't want to shoot a young buck. I'd rather shoot something a little more mature. And so he just had 2.5 inch prongs. It was probably 12, 13 inches, maybe, if that. So we're going to try and hope his big brother comes in.
After those 3 bucks left, literally 10, 15 seconds after they left, I peeked around the edge of the blind, and here's the shooter buck, about 40 yards, coming in on a string. So busy working in the summer. These August hunts are hard for me to do, so. Oh man, he's no Boone and Crockett goat, but he's a plenty big enough for me goat. Well, you had those 3 smaller bucks come in. I was tempted to shoot that one. I was like, Kyle, should I shoot him? I was like, it's up to you. I'm like, well. Then when they walked off, I was like, I don't know, maybe I should have shot him. And we were just talking about how incredible this heck stuff is, how calm these antelope were. I just kind of poked around the corner of the blind. I'm like, oh, shooter bug, shooter bug. And there you see him. Piled up right there. He didn't go but 30 yards after I hit him.
Welcome back. Let's see if Trev can do his part and help Outback Outdoors go 2 for 2 in this exciting conclusion of this Wyoming archery antelope hunt.
This was everything I was hoping to get in an antelope this year. He's no monster, but he's a good representative antelope. That's That's what I was hoping for. We got a hold of Scott. He came out. We were able to share the moment, take some pictures, got the antelope loaded up into town and taken care of. This was an exciting way for me to start the 2011 hunting season. Now, it's up to Trevon.
With Adam tagged out, Sarah and I got up bright and early with high hopes and jumped in the truck with Scott. Second morning, Table Mountain Outfitters here with Scott and Denny, and we just passed a decent looking goat, that antelope that's looking like he just is kind of lingering and feeding a little bit, and we might get out and see if we can put the old sneak attack on him. You know, out in Wyoming there's a lot of structures, and what I mean by that is, of course, you're going to have your windmills and your old homesteads and stuff like that, but this is also gas fields, oil fields. There's a lot of different things. The antelope, it's just integrated into their ecosystem. He's just over this rise, right?
Yeah, he's just right here. He's just kind of feeding along right
He's not even concerned with us. So what happened is we were actually heading out to the blind this morning, and we're out here in Wyoming, wide open country, and there's, believe it or not, there's a lot of structures. I mean, you've got, of course, your windmill, stuff like that, but then you've got some other stuff out here. These goats are so used to seeing people in trucks.
On occasion, you'll find one that'll let you stalk a little bit, you know, and with the little bit of terrain that we've got, you can sometimes get in that 35, 40 yards. And
well, we drove by this decent goat, and he just kind of kept feeding, and Scott says, watch this. So he circles around, kind of, we're out, he's just over there. We're gonna kind of meander towards him and let him, he's just kind of feeding at an angle, and kind of on the side of a little 2-track road, and we're gonna see if we can get on him.
Yep.
It's a lot funner than sitting in a ground blind.
Well, the worst case scenario is we don't get him.
Right. And then we go sit in the ground blind.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, let's see what we can do.
Just ease up here. What I'll do is I'll kind of just get right in front of you here, and then hopefully I'll see him first, and then I'll give you a range so you don't, there's less things that you have to do here.
Okay.
You got the important job shooting.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
This is kind of easy right up here.
We circled around this buck who was just kind of feeding, worked up on him, got out, and just worked at an angle the way he was feeding. So Scott and I were getting closer. I couldn't believe it. It was going to happen, or at least it had a chance to happen. Scott had his rangefinder out and he was calling out yardages to me.
He's 40.
he dropped like a ton of bricks. And as you saw, he didn't go anywhere. Well, to say it got a little bloody, that would be an understatement. It got a lot bloody. And we're not going to show you that footage. It's a little gory. Went ahead and dispatched him, loaded him in the truck, and took him up to a little nicer background where we could take our pictures and do our recovery video and stuff like that. What an awesome way to kick off our 2011 hunting season at Outback Outdoors. You know, this antelope hunt was a little different than some of the others I've been on, but it was a lot of fun to join up with Adam, head up to Wyoming for early season antelope. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you down the road on Outback Outdoors.